What's up everybody, welcome back to the Old Crypto, the birthplace of absolutely legendary gains. In this video we are going to take an updated look at ADA and determine exactly, is it going to dump, is it going to go up, and most importantly you guys are going to understand what levels that I'm going to be looking to buy ADA at and exactly which levels to pay attention to. So if you're interested in that, I want you to watch till the end of the video, got it? So if you remember, during the last ADA video that I made a couple of weeks back, I was predicting ADA to find support at the $1 level, and I was telling you guys to buy ADA exactly at that level, and if you would did so, you would have gotten about 50%. Now that is very fine and dandy, but for those of you who missed this trade right here, this video is going to explain to you what next to look out for. So right off the bat, on a macro scale, right, if you just take a look at the daily chart, you can see that it's not looking pretty. So not only have we been forming lower highs and lower lows, or rather lower highs but equal lows, the fact of the matter remains that we have yet to break a daily level of market structure just yet. And if I were to draw a trend line just like this, you can see that in fact we are sort of forming a descending triangle right now, which is really not pretty, because if you know anything about technical analysis patterns, you know that descending triangles have a 68% chance of breaking to the downside. But at the moment it is still way too early to tell, so let's dive a little bit deeper and understand what we are looking at. So on the 4-hourly structure, you can see that, you know, we have broken market structure indeed. So we came down here to form a lower low, but then this one was a lower high, but we did form a high low, and then now we have formed a higher high in comparison, but then now we have formed a higher high in relation to this high right here. So at least on the lower time frame, market structure has broken towards the upside, so we should expect things to continue until they don't. But here's something that I'm worried about, and you know, something that could potentially lead to the downfall of ADA, at least in the very near short term. So if you just take a look at the 4-hourly chart right now, we have broken, so this candle right here, if you just take a look at this candle, right, the low of this candle is lower than the previous two candles next to it. So what this means is that this is a swing low on the 4-hourly. And at the moment, you can see, if we just draw a trend line on this level, you can see that in order to maintain this higher low, higher high structure, we could not break this level. And at the moment, you can see that we have broken below this level, and it looks as though it's coming back up for a bearish retest. So that is definitely not pretty. And even worse, if I just draw a trend line from here to here and another trend line from here to here, you can see that this is a textbook, right? Textbook rising wedge. And if you know anything about rising wedges, you know that they have a 68% chance of breaking to the downside as well, similar to how a falling wedge has a 68% chance of breaking to the upside. So what do we do with this information? So straight up, right off the bat, remember how I said about the bearish retest? We're just going to want to mark this level right here at 1.3755. So this is the level that we're going to want to pay attention to. And if you know anything about retests, is that, you know, when you buy a breakdown of a level, or rather when you short a breakdown of a level, you either, the entry number one is as it's breaking down, you go in with the breakdown, and the second entry is during the retest. So when it breaks down and it comes back up to retest, you short the pullback. And this goes with any other coin as well. And at the moment, you can see that ADA could potentially be coming back up to do a bearish retest. So if you do get this level right here, I mean, by the time I post this video, this is going to be invalidated. So let's discuss an alternative entry that you could be looking for. So I just brought up the EMAs on the 4-hourly, and at the moment you can see that this orange line right here and this white line right here is at about 1.38 or 1.39-ish. So if you do get a pullback to these levels, which hopefully by the time I get this video out, it has, like, the price hasn't reached there, then you can definitely short the pullback, or even to the 200 EMA on the 4-hourly. Now all you have to do to bring this up is just go into your indicators and search for EMAs, and just set the period to 200, 100 and 50. So that's going to be your entry number one. As for the take profit targets, I'm going to mark some down for you right off the bat. In fact, if ADA falls below this level right here, it has a pretty good chance of just dumping all the way down to 1.285. And if I just bring up the VPVR indicator, you can see that in fact my bias has been confirmed. So if you just take a look at VPVR, right underneath this level, you have pretty strong support, right, in terms of volume. But the moment you break below this level, then the volume seems to die down, which means this is going to be your trade number two, you're going to want to mark down this level at 1.35 or 1.347-ish. And if the price does break down of this level, you can enter along with the breakdown, or as usual, short the bearish retest. So that's going to be your entry number 2, and this is going to be your take profit number 1. Now, if you've watched my videos recently, you know that I really like to talk about this institutional trading concept where, we learn to trade like the institutions. And based on that theory, you would understand that the thing that institutions love to do a lot is they like to stop out the liquidity in the market. So for example, if we just go onto the daily time frame, you can see that, if I just take a little zoom out, you can see that there is a lot of liquidity at around this area, right? Comparatively speaking, at least, compared to the rest of the levels. And I'm just going to mark down a few key levels that you're going to want to pay attention to ADA, and potentially these are the levels that you're going to want to get ADA at. And if you manage to get ADA at these levels, it's going to be really brilliant, because you're literally going to be sniping bottoms at that point. Basically, what I mean to say is, at the moment, not only do we have a rising wedge breakdown, but we are also getting lots of liquidity right below this level. So is there a chance that ADA goes up? Of course. But for now, at least until we break back into the pattern and break out of this pattern, I would just recommend that you stick to shorting instead of going long. Sometimes once the trend changes, it is a little bit futile to try to fight the trend. And if you know anything about proper trading, you know that as a trader, you're supposed to be trading with the trend, and if you fight against the trend, it's not going to be working out in your favor. And if there is one other indicator that I would like to bring your attention to, is if we go onto the daily chart, you can see that right here, this is called the moon phase indicator, and it's not really a moon, it's not really an indicator, it's more of just, like here, moon phase. So what this tells you is basically, the moon, right, that thing that you see on top of the sky. I know a lot of you have been conditioned to, when you hear the word moon, you think about what, safe moon, like moon rocket, rocket moon, go to moon, those kind of coins. Now, I'm not talking about that kind of moon. I'm talking about that white thing you see in the sky at night. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So these dark circles are indicating a new moon, and these white circles are full moons. So if you just go back in time, you can see that every time we've gotten a new moon, the price tends to dump. Now, I know this sounds really woo-woo, but there is a saying that millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. And feel free to fact check that. The one that said this is JP Morgan, and if you know who that is, well, let's just say that he's a really smart person. So ADA, if you just see here, right, full moon, bam, full new moon, bam, new moon, bam, new moon, bam, 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 right, you get the point. So based on this indicator right here, we are about to get our next new moon in about 2 days. So today is the 8th of July where I'm posting this video, and we're about to get our new one at about 9th of July or 10th of July. You're going to want to do a quick Google on moon phases based on your time. So based on this indicator, you can see that whenever we get a new moon, we tended to dump, right, within 3 days. So for example, in this case here, we got the new moon, and then the price went up by another 4 or 5 days before dumping. And this one as well, after you got the new moon, the price went up by about 3 more days before it dumped. The same for this as well. Price went up by 3 more days and dumped. So what am I trying to get at here? So based on this indicator alone, now I know it sounds really woo-woo, but there is a very good chance that, ADA might be taking a dump. And if we do take a dump, I'm going to list out a few very, very nice support levels that you can look to buy ADA at. And the first one is going to be $1. $1 is going to be absolutely brilliant. And the second one is actually going to be at $1.15. So these two levels are your immediate levels to buy ADA at. If you manage to get ADA at these two levels, you're likely going to see a quick little bounce. So the way I'm going to draw this out for you is, if ADA price gets down here and you buy, what's likely going to happen is that you're going to get a quick bounce, maybe about 10-20%. Okay, I won't promise 20, but I can promise at least 5 to 10%. I don't know about you, but 5 to 10% sounds pretty good to me. And if market conditions are good, then you're going to get this bounce, and then you're going to break out of this descending triangle. And remember, descending triangles only have a 68% chance of breaking to the downside. There is no saying that we cannot break to the upside. And if we break to the upside, the measured move for this descending triangle breakout is assuming that we get it about this point, it's going to bring us right up to about $2. Now, I'm not saying that this is guaranteed to happen, it's just something to keep in mind that. So for sure, $1.15, $1, 93 cents, right, or 92.5 It's depending on how you want to look at it. And these two levels are going to be sort of your contingency limits. So if ADA really just, the world ends tomorrow and, ADA just absolutely decides to take a dump, these two levels are going to be really, really, really key supports for ADA. And if you do get it at these two prices, it's going to be really amazing. Like, you're literally going to get probably a 50% move, just like this snipe right here, which I called in the video that I made on ADA previously, by the way. So that's going to be your lower levels. Now, I do not expect 70 cents and 45 cents to get hit that often, or at least that soon. It'll probably be, a few weeks out to maybe a couple months before we get to that point. But hey, don't quote me on that. Timing is the one thing that I cannot really predict. I can predict where the price is going to go, but I can't predict when it's going to happen, if you know what I mean. So that was the bearish scenario for ADA. Like, everything seems to line up in the bearish scenario, but over here at this channel, we are grand strategists, so we do not simply be overly biased towards any given direction. So let's discuss the bullish possibility as well. So if I just remove all of this, and by the way, if you haven't already marked down these levels, I want you to do so, okay? I'm literally giving you the exact take profit targets, the exact levels at where to short, and exact levels of where to buy ADA at. If you can't even be bothered to mark these down on your own chart, there's literally nothing more that I can do for you. So make sure you do that, alright? Now, I'm going to remove it, and I'm going to remove the moon phase indicator as well, because that's just sort of distracting. So you can see that currently the price is below this 50 EMA on the daily chart. And if you've been following this channel for any amount of time, you know that I always like to say that the 50, the 100 and the 200 EMAs are going to be very strong dynamic support and resistances for any trend. So in this case, because we broke below it, then expect it to act as resistance, yeah? So if we just draw a trend line from here up to about here-ish, then you can see that it lines up with this 50 EMA. And so we're going to want to mark down this level at 1.44, and here's what we're going to do for the bullish direction. So remember how I said, if we broke below these levels, like down low, you're going to want to enter along with the breakdown. So similarly, if we do break out in the bullish direction, out of this level, you're going to want to enter along with the breakout. So that's going to be your bullish trade. Or alternatively, you're going to want to buy the bullish retest, like so. Right, it's the same theory, it's just flip the directions. So the reason why I'm recommending you to, buy breakdowns and buy bearish retests along with breakouts and bullish retests is because these entries are generally very safe entries. So for example, assuming that, you're going to buy the breakdown of this level, or you can just set your stop loss like right above this level, because you know that, if the price breaks down and it comes back up to break above this level, then, your trade will be invalidated. And, in trading, it's okay to be wrong. In fact, some of the best traders in the world are wrong about half the time, and the reason why they're still so massively profitable is because they manage their risk properly and they do not let any single trade, or any single loss for that matter, like absolutely blow them up. So manage your risk, alright? And same for the bearish retest or bullish retest, right? If you buy here, you can set your stop loss right below here, because you know that if it breaks out of the pattern and it comes back in, then that's an invalidated trade and it's okay to get out with a small loss. So in this case, this is the level that you're going to want to buy in the bullish direction, and I'm just going to give you some quick take profit targets right off the bat, and I'm going to need to hop on to the 4-hourly chart for this. In fact, I'm also going to bring up the VPVR indicator yet again to identify where are the proper take profit targets for ADA if you do go long. So right off the bat, you can see that this is going to be our point of control. So expect this level to be very strong resistance right about this point here. So that's going to be your take profit number 2. This is going to be take profit number 1. And I'm sort of like, what I'm doing right now is just going through the chart and just taking a look at where are the major sticking points of ADA, like where has it been traditionally rejected a lot and where has it found support a lot. And I'm just sort of using the VPVR to confirm my bias. And as you can see, if you just take a look at these levels, right, this level is before a high volume node. This level is above a high volume node, but you get the point. These are going to be your strong supports and resistances. And ideally, you want to take profit before it gets to that level. And this is going to be your profit taking targets. And the reason why I brought up this indicator right here is just to show you that I'm not really, like, first I'm identifying the major levels on the chart itself, and I'm not using the indicator to tell me what's what. I only use the indicator to sort of confirm my bias. So if I say like, oh, this level is supposed to be strong resistance, and then I bring up my indicator and like, okay, yeah, that confirms it. Notice how I do not use indicators to lead my analysis. In fact, if you look at my chart, even though I have, Market Cipher and the oscillator, I'm not using that, right? I'm purely trading off a price action right here. And it's something that you guys are going to want to learn to do as well, for sure. So these are going to be your bullish take profit targets. And the way that you use these targets is, trust me when I say that no trader that knows what they're doing, or no trader that's, worth their trades, I don't really know how to put it, but basically everyone that knows what they're doing trading, they will never take profit at they'll never take it all in one lump sum at one level. What they do is they dollar cost average. So for example, as the price moves up, then they'll take 25 here, 25% here, 25% here, maybe 25% here. It all depends on market conditions, right? If the market conditions are good, then you can wait a little bit longer before taking profit. But if market conditions are bad, you take more off at the table, you take more off from the table, earlier, so that you can secure the profits. And same goes for when you're going down as well. Right, you take here, you take 25 here, 25 here, 25 here. And same goes for when you're buying, right? When you're buying ADA, for example, when I said 1.15 is going to be a very strong level, then, you could put in, just half of your normal position. Let's say your normal position is 10 grand, then you can maybe purchase, about 5 grand at 1.15 instead of going in full on 10 grand. And remember, I always like to say this, as a trader, the moment you open a position, everything that you do from that point on is going to be painful. For example, if you go, like, as the price is going up and, you take profits too early and then you miss out on the rest of the gains. Like, sure, you could be like I hear a lot of beginners talk about this actually. I'm missing out on potential gains if I take profits too early. Well, yeah, you are, but what if the price goes all the way up and then it comes all the way back down and then you don't take profit on any of these levels? Wouldn't that be painful as well? Maybe it comes back to your entry, or maybe even goes lower than your entry. That's painful as well, yeah? So just choose the pain. Choose the kind of pain that you're willing to accept. For me, I'm willing to accept taking profits too early, but at least securing those profits, because I know that when it comes to trading, we're playing the long game here. We're not trying to get rich quick. Trading is not a get rich quick scheme. If you're serious about doing this, you have to think about doing this for a long term, right? Over the long term. And when it comes to a long term, you have to remember the power of exponential laws. So for the longest time, right, these small gains are not going to do much. Your account is just going to look like this, but eventually, right, slowly but surely, these small gains start to really add up, and then your account goes really exponential. So just keep this in mind. If you just understand this one theory, you're going to be successful as a trader. And if you appreciate the way that I like to explain things, and if you appreciate the way that I give you exact levels, exact scenarios, and how to trade, then you're going to want to check out the private Discord group. Because if you're serious about doing crypto or trading for a career and you want to fast track your education, you're going to want to join this Discord group, because over here I'm literally providing a world-class trading education that will pretty much guarantee that you become a proficient trader as long as you follow everything that I teach. I have had multiple people in this group that have been doing stocks for decades, and they come in here and they're like, yo, I can't believe I'm still learning something new. So as a beginner, right, I would much rather you join this group, right? Filter out all the noise, because 90% of things out there don't work, and there's trading is a lot simpler than you think. And if you just want to filter out all the noise, learn something that works, then you're going to want to consider joining the private Discord group. And as a bonus to the trading education that you're going to get, I'm making literally really profitable trading setups every single day. And if you just take a look at the profits, look at this. This is all the profits that we've managed to accumulate over the last 10 days, right? This isn't even like, oh, this is all the profits in the last year. No, this is the last 10 days, right? We've got 21% here, 10% there, 31% there. There's a lot of people in this group that have already made back their memberships in just, a couple of trades. And if we just go onto the profits page, look at this, so much profit every single day. And for real, the knowledge that you acquire in this Discord group is going to pay itself off really quickly. There's a lot of people here who's posting these profits where just a couple of weeks ago, they're like brand new, like brand spanking new to trading, and look at where they are right now. So right now, if you want to sign up, I've already closed the monthly signups. So right now, if you want to come in, you can only join either semi-annual or above, and you have to pay crypto. So the reason for that is because I want to be able to provide focused attention to every single member in this group, and I simply cannot do that if there are too many people. So if you're interested in getting this focused attention from me, and like me basically just being there to guide you through every step of the way and making sure that you succeed, then you're going to want to consider joining the Discord group. Now, I'm not going to be opening up monthly signups until the near future, but I have a waitlist on my Twitter at _the ADA Crypto. And by the way, if you haven't already followed me here, this is where I'm sharing the latest market updates and you don't want to miss out. So I have a waitlist on my Twitter, and if you're truly serious and interested about joining the Discord group on a monthly basis, then you're going to want to sign up for this waitlist. But otherwise, until further notice, it's not going to be opening up. I'm just putting it out there. So you're going to want to join True Crypto. The link is in the description below. So again, remember to mark down those levels on ADA, and remember, nothing's confirmed until it is confirmed, so don't FOMO entry into anything, okay? And with that said, may the gains be with you, my friend, and peace.